everybody, I'm back. Everybody, Gina Young is back to show you all how easy it is to make delicious, cheesy, au gratin potatoes, homemade Gina Young style. This recipe, absolutely amazing. So easy to make, doesn't require a lot of ingredients. If you make it Gina Young style, you're gonna love me for this recipe. This recipe, easy peasy, and it's packed with so much flavor. Here's the ingredients you're gonna need. You're gonna need a block of Velvetta cheese. You don't have to get the biggest block. This is the smallest block here, and it's just the 8 ounce of the original Velvetta. You're gonna need the block cheese so that you can shred. By all means, you can use pre-shredded cheese, but they do say that when you shred it yourself, it melts a little bit more better and it tastes better. So now I have Colby Jack, Monterey Jack, mild cheddar. The type of potatoes that I'll be using today is a beautiful Yukon Gold potato. When using this potato, keep in mind that it's so creamy. It is dreamy and you don't have to peel the skin. The skin is soft and supple and it's just gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to use Yukon Gold. If you don't want to use the Yukon Gold, not the tiny ones, if you don't want to use the Yukon Gold, then by all means you can use the Idaho potato. We're going to use a really interesting ingredient here, sweetened condensed milk, just a little bit. It gives you like a zing, like it's kind of like yin and yang. It goes up against that tartness of the sharp cheddars and that Monterey Jack and the strong flavor of the Colby cheese, and it just really balances it out. We're going to use some evaporated milk, and if you don't want to use that, use regular milk. Okay, so we got some spices to make this baby taste good. Salt, pepper, parsley flakes to make it look beautiful, garlic and onion powder, and paprika. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Let's get started with this amazing recipe, Gina Young style. Christmas is right around the corner. The holidays is right around the corner. Everybody's looking for that perfect dish to take to your family's dinner table. You have to have au gratin potatoes this year for your holiday. Gina Young's going to show you how to make it. You're going to love this recipe. The first thing that I like to show you how I do is I cut the potatoes. Now you can do this recipe 2 different ways. You can pre-cook the potatoes if you like, or if you don't want to, you can just put the potatoes into the baking dish raw and bake it that way. But if you decide to put your potatoes into the baking dish raw, keep in mind that the dish will take longer to cook. I don't want to wait forever in a day. So what I did was I sliced up my potatoes and I boiled these babies. Put them in boiling water, salt your water, cut them, of course, and I kept the skin on. You see about how thick I cut them. You can see that, right? And I just boiled them for about, let's just say 8 to 10 minutes. And then I took them, put them in a strainer, drained the water, and here they are in a bowl. Okay, that's going to cut down on the cooking process so you're not waiting forever and a day for your recipe. So now let me show you how I cut my potatoes. I hope y'all are having a great day today. Anybody in the comment section, let me know, are you excited for Gina Young's holiday recipes? Every year I do it. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Gina Young is your girl, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you click on that notification bell so you can be notified when Gina Young is showing you all how to make delicious holiday recipes, Gina Young style. Look at that. Pretty simple, right? Try your best to make them all the same size, and if you can't, don't worry about it. Okay, so when I come back, what we're going to do, since we already have our potatoes and nice and pre-cooked, okay, and then they've cooled down. You can take them while they're hot. You don't have to wait till they're cooled down, okay? So now what we're going to do, let's make this cheese sauce that makes this recipe so amazing. The cheese sauce, simple. So now so many of you that's familiar with Gina Young, you're going to say, this kind of looks like your macaroni and cheese. You're right. You are absolutely right. It is sort of kind of like my macaroni and cheese. If you wanted to really explore and put a can of cream of chicken soup in here, by all means you can. extra flavor. So we're going to open up our Velvetta cheese just like so. Get it into a saucepan. It doesn't have to be a pan this large. And get your evaporated milk opened up. I have 2 cans just in case I need to. I might not need to. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we got to melt our Velvetta down and make a cheese sauce. Now that the Velvetta is chopped up, let's add some evaporated milk. Okay, so what I want to do is start off with 1 can. This is a 12 fluid ounce. Okay, and I have my burner on medium, and you can turn it down a little bit because you really don't want that cheese and milk to burn. It's possible if you have it turned up too high that you can burn it. So get a spatula or soft spatula out, and you can, kind of move things around just like so until you develop a beautiful cheese sauce. In the meantime, between time, how about we get some cheese nice and chopped up? Well, let's see. Let's grab, we don't want to chop it. We want to shred it. Okay, so I have my, grater here. We're going to grate it, okay? I suggest that you use this hole here. There's different holes so you can make different size, okay? But I always suggest using this one. And when you're grating your cheese, be very careful. Be very careful. You don't want to grate your fingers. So when you get close to the bottom, the bottom part of the cheese, be very mindful. Okay, so we're just going to do that just like so in this manner with all the cheeses. And then I'll show you what's going to happen next. It gets really interesting. What beautiful cheese we have there. Look at that. Pretty simple, right? Absolutely it is. Listen, every recipe Gina Young shares with y'all is going to be simple, and doggone it, it's going to taste good. And that is a promise. Ask somebody. Go in the comment section and see what people are saying about Gina Young's recipes. We need to take a peek in at our cheese and our milk just to make sure that nothing is scoring, sticking to the bottom or anything like that. Okay, so our cheese is beginning to melt. Velvetta is a stickler. Sometimes you need a little aid to really push it to melt, okay? And I find mixing milk in with it helps it to melt up really good. So I'm going to go ahead and add that 2nd can of the evaporated milk just like so. And then we're going to take some of our cheese that we have already shredded up, and I want to put it in there, okay? And not only are we going to do that, but we're going to season this. Just a little bit of salt. And when I tell you a little bit, I'm serious about a little bit. And some of you, if you can't use salt, don't worry about it. Okay, some black pepper for sure. Oh my goodness. Parsley flakes always made everything beautiful, right? So why not get some in there? Perfect. We're going to go in with garlic powder, and honestly, a nice amount. Ooh, yes, that's where I get really excited. We're going to go in with onion powder, a little bit of paprika, just a little bit, and the rest of the paprika that we use in this recipe will go on top just to make everything nice and pretty. At this point, turn the burner on super low, okay? Because the milk is nice and warm, and guess what's going to happen? The cheese is going to melt, and you're going to have a beautiful cheese sauce that tastes delicious. If you take a look here, these are the parts that got a little too close to the grater, and I didn't want to risk, cutting myself. So this is what we have, a nice mound of beautiful cheeses that taste and smell so good. In the meantime, take a look. Oh my goodness, we got a cheese sauce forming that smells so good. And honestly, at this point, go ahead and turn the burner off. You have your cheese sauce and it's nice and well seasoned. Let's bring our potatoes into the equation and our baking dish. I'm going to be using a disposable 9x12 baking dish. Any kind of baking dish you have, you can use it. So now what I'm going to do is show you what I like to do with my potatoes. You can lay them this way and shingle them like I like to do. Or some of you, and you let me know if you're that person. Let me know. Say, I'm that person, Gina. I would just throw the potatoes into the pan. If you're that person, let me know. I'd love to laugh at that comment and I want to see who you are. I want to see who you are that says that. So I like to shingle mine, but like I said, by all means, you can just throw them in. Okay, and what we're going to do is with the shredded cheese that we have to the right of me, we're going to put shredded cheese in between these layers. And then we're going to pour sauce. And then we're going to do more potatoes, more shredded cheese. So that's going to be the gist of how we're going to do this. In the meantime, I want you to set your oven to 350 degrees and make sure you have some foil, because I would like for you to cover these during the cooking process. And then a little later, after we feel like the recipe is cooked, then we'll turn around and take the foil off so we can get a nice color on top. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. So now that I'm done with my first layer, let's go ahead and take some shredded cheese and do this. Ooh, Gina, you're getting real fancy with this. You bet I am. And I'm super excited to share this recipe with you because I'm making this for Christmas. Oh, absolutely. We're having this for Christmas. Okay, just like so. And then cheese sauce, pour you some in. I need both hands, guys. So give me a second. I'll be right back. And I would have poured some of this cheese sauce into here. Take a look. The cheese sauce is on top. And I am super excited. So when it comes to the sweetened condensed milk that I always like to use, I use it in my macaroni too. We're going to use 3 tablespoons. What it does is it blends in with the sharp flavors of the cheese. And like I said, more than anything, it balances those flavors out. Don't worry about if it comes off of your spoon into a clump, because during the cooking process, just trust me, it will melt and marry right in with the sauce and the potatoes. So you don't have to worry about stirring it, okay? So there's 1 tablespoon. We're going to use 3 tablespoons during this cooking process. Guess what we're going to do? Another layer. Until you run out of potatoes. Keep layering it. And then we're going to go in once again with the shredded cheese and more sauce until we get to the top. And into the oven we go. Somebody's super excited about this recipe. Let me know if you're that person that's excited. You should be excited. Going in with shredded cheese. More sauce. And we're going to also use our 2 sweetened condensed. Just let it drizzle like it may. Beautiful sauces next. Make sure you have foil because we got to cover this baby up going into the oven. Now that we have our layer, let's go ahead, put some seasoning into the potatoes, okay? Black pepper, for sure. A little bit of salt if you choose. You don't have to. Keep in mind that cheese has salt. A lot of people like to say, Gina, no butter. You know, like when I'm making something like this or baked macaroni. No, because the cheese has butter in it. And so I don't want this to be oily. So we just did salt and pepper. Onion powder for sure. My goodness. Garlic powder. Absolutely. Right? And that's where your flavor's going to kick in. Absolutely. Okay? And then cheese sauce. Sauce is the boss. Oh, throw it all on there. Look it, took it. And spread it. I tell you what, my family is super excited tonight. So remember the big pieces that I just couldn't shred? Well, I chopped them up with a knife. Okay, just throw them on. All right, put them on anywhere, okay? Just get them on there. And make sure, because you know they're going to melt. Make sure you're using aluminum foil half the time of the cooking process. Keep in mind that these potatoes have been pre-cooked. So this recipe is not going to take forever and a day as if it would if your potatoes were raw. You can make it raw. I know I'm repeating myself, but you can definitely make it while the potatoes are raw. And then you bake them. It'll just be a longer cooking process. How about we put some parsley flakes on, a little bit of paprika to make it gorgeous. Cover it with foil and into the oven. Look at that. Oh, Gina, it looks so super good already. I know. And that's why I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you to take this to your family's house for the holiday. They are going to rant and rave about this recipe, how beautiful it is and how delicious it is. Gorgeous. And if you decide that you're going to use the Yukon Gold potatoes, it's such a nice, creamy, dreamy potato. Cover this with foil and make sure your foil's not touching the cheese. If the foil's touching the cheese, when you open the foil, all your cheese is going to come up. So kind of puff up the foil in the middle and just do tight right here where you put your foil. Into the oven. Look at this. I've taken it out of the oven. Okay, so we've cooked it for an hour. Took it out of the oven. We're going to turn the heat up to 375 degrees just until the sides get a little bit bubbly, maybe a little bit golden brown, and your recipe is done. Look at this. This is what I call Gina Young style holiday cheesy au gratin potatoes. Make you some. Look at that. Take a look. Remember I told you want the color? That's the color. That's the crispy part that you're going to love, that your whole family's going to love. If you enjoy this here video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Tell your family and friends and everyone you know, tell the whole world what Gina Young's doing in this kitchen on a daily basis. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this beautiful meal. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. This is way too hot for me to try. I don't want to burn my mouth, but look it took it. Make you some. God bless. Good night.